My granddaughter.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Town of Milton monthly board meeting. Today is January 25th, 2023. I'd like to get the meeting started with a pledge by Councilwoman Kerr.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilman Froelich.
Present.
Councilwoman Kerr. Present. Councilman Blaisdell.
Present.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Present. First on the agenda this evening is a motion to accept the regular board meeting minutes from December 28th.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, a motion to accept the organizational meeting minutes from January 4th.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, public comment on agenda items only. If anybody would like to speak, public comment is now open. Anybody on Zoom?
No.
Hearing none, public comment number 1 is now closed. Next up, presentation by Joe Janable, RLA partner from Environmental Design Partnership on Cesar Brothers Planned Development District. Evening, Joe.
Good evening. Thanks for hearing us tonight. We have what we believe is a very exciting PDD for the town of Milton. We have been in this process for many, many years. I think we started this well before COVID. Got to the COVID era, everything paused for a while. About a year or so ago, we retooled up, got ready to go, and we've been to the planning board. We got a positive recommendation with some comments from the planning board for the approval of the PDD. So we're here tonight now that we have a draft legislation that's been prepared in conjunction with Jim Craig, town attorney. And tonight we're looking to advance the plans. We're hoping that the town board will take position to establish themselves as lead agency and start the coordinated review process. And then ultimately schedule a public hearing for March, at what time we'd be hoping to act on the legislation and move it forward and codify the legislation, move forward to subdivision review in the future with the planning board. It has been quite a while since we presented to this board, so I'll give you a brief overview of the project. I'm here tonight with Justin Grassi of the Jones Steves Law Firm, who is the project attorney. I'm also here tonight with one of the project's owners, Mike Cesar, one of the brothers that owns the property. The property itself is located on Stone Church Road between Ackland Drive and Pheasant Run, identified in the yellow area on this map. It does occupy land on both sides of the road, approximately 83 acres of land. The land itself is in the R1 district, which has a half-acre minimum zoning. Of the 83 acres, we have 11 acres of wetland. They are DEC regulated. That gives us about 72 acres of buildable land area. Looking at a rough base density, just to give a figure to the board, 72 acres of land, if we reduce that by about 20% for roads, infrastructure, and efficiencies, and then divide it by the half-acre zoning, that's going to result in somewhere of about 110 to 115 single-family residential building lots that could be developed on this parcel without the presence of a PDD. We understand there are some wetlands and there's some efficiencies, so I'm sure that number is probably floating maybe a little below that, right in that 100 unit range. What we are proposing is a 100 unit plan development district. It's a mixed residential plan development district. We have 4 housing types. We have a couple of state lots, several standard single family lots, a mix of twin homes, duplex lots, and then a series of cottage-style, single-family detached, possibly attached home. There's some flexibility in those lots. We have gone through multiple seeker-related studies. We've completed a traffic study. One of the only impacts associated with that was at the intersection of Stone Church Road and Geyser Road, where the traffic study recommends a four-way stop sign controlled intersection for a four-way stop. We have completed wetlands. We provided sign-offs and JDs from the DEC and the Army Corps of Engineers. We have completed archaeological studies, provided a letter of no impact for archaeologically sensitive areas on the site. We provided sign-off of no impact to endangered species on the property as well. We have recently received a letter, a commitment to serve from Heritage Springs Sewer Works for sewer on the property, and we are waiting a commitment letter from Rollins Hollow Waterworks for water service to the site. Sewer service would be by a pressurized system connecting to existing gravity system on Ackland Drive, and we do have an existing Rollins Hollow water main coming from Ackland that extends down to, I never remember the name of it, the new subdivision that was put in. Fair Oaks. Thank you. Now we may ask, why go for the PDD when we could get 100 residential units that we're looking for without the PDD? Well, there's several benefits both to the town and to the applicant and to the adjacent neighborhoods. First and foremost, without having to go through and develop all half-acre lots, we're able to preserve about 50 acres of undeveloped or minimally developed open space, 30 of which would exist on HOA-owned lands. One estate lot would have roughly 20 acres, to which a certain portion of that would remain open space for that lot. So we wouldn't be cutting down trees, we'd be preserving vast areas of forested upland and wetland. We designed this to also minimize impacts and develop adjacent to existing residential neighborhoods. The way we have it set up right now, we would have housing set up next to 3 residential existing residents on Pheasant Run and 3 residents on Ackland Drive. If we went for, again, straight zoning, we'd have half-acre lots. We would essentially be clear-cutting a pretty good majority of the site to get those houses in there. And we would be impacting at least double the amount of adjacent neighbors by having development immediately adjacent to in the rear yard of those lots. By going to the PDD, we've also been able to significantly reduce the infrastructure on site, which is both a benefit to the developers, as it reduces costs associated with the construction of lots, but it also is a significant benefit to the town, as it reduces the infrastructure that would have to be maintained by the town, mainly the road network system. In a typical single-family neighborhood for 100 lots, we probably have 6,000 to 7,000 linear feet of road. With the consolidated and clustered approach we're taking for this PDD, we're reducing that road length to about 4,000 linear feet. That also relates to stormwater. We're going to have much less impervious area because we have probably about a 30% reduction, 33% reduction in the impervious area on the site related to the roads, which also helps with the stormwater management, reduces the impervious cover on the site, which is certainly one of the elements that the DEC looks for when we are designing and developing the stormwater plans for these lots. And least but not last, as we talked about the open space, we are going to go from a project that would clear probably in the 60-acre range of forest and disturbance on the site, bringing that disturbance down to probably about the 25, maybe 30 acres on the site. So we've significantly reduced the amount of vegetation that would be removed from the site, preserving, again, vast areas of green space surrounding the community. We did talk about traffic. The project itself, the evening PM peak hour would be the primary trip generator for the project. It's about 102 new trips on Stone Church Road going both north and south. We talked about the intersection of Geyser and Stone Church Road. Without the stop sign control, that intersection would drop from a level service C to a level service E. The stop sign control keeps that level of service at a level service E at that C at that intersection. I've got a brief overview of the conclusions of that report. The main thing we looked at was that could be a potential impact, again, the intersection of Geyser and Stone Church Road. We also looked, and there is recommendations if we want to have some mid-block crossings associated with the entrances and trails within the Caesar Brothers PDD. Quick slide looking at some of the potential homes that could be built within this community. These smaller single-family homes, the 4 around the edge, are all designed to fit within that overall lot that's about 60 feet wide. So these homes are about 35 feet wide, single garage, double garage, 2-story, some 1-story. These by no means the exact houses that are going to be built, but it is designed and included within the PDD legislation that there is going to be some level of varying architecture. It's not going to be a consistent gray house, garage, front throughout the community. There'll be multiple models available that the builder will come forward with. And then a quick look at a couple of the potential townhome designs, possibly what we call a soft link. Twin homes where the garages are the connections, so it minimizes noise traveling between the 2 units, or more standard design where the garages are on the outsides of those units. The brothers are not developers. They will not be building this. They ultimately be selling it to a builder, but they are adhering to certain architectural detailing that they would like to include within the development so that the town ultimately gets a project that they would be proud and happy of. Thank you. That's all I have for tonight for the presentation.
Anybody have any questions?
I guess several, I guess. Talk to me a little bit more about this cottage home type arrangement. Are they individual lots, or how do you do that, I guess, Joe?
So when we originally had this PDD set up, these were all duplex homes around the entire area. What we did is we separated them. This would have been a great lot, identical to what you see here, with a future division line between them. What we were able to do is separate those houses into these narrower, more type of a maintenance-free, senior marketed type of a community. And essentially you have a single-family lot that is completely separate from another lot.
Now, does your lot width, does that meet the standard for like a half-acre lot?
No, because we are clustering and reducing the overall footprint of the project. We are looking at much smaller lot sizes, lot frontages, and side yard setbacks. Looking at more of a, we'll say more of a Saratoga or suburban, urban type of a look to the community. Smaller lots, smaller yards. That tends to be the trend we're seeing in the housing market, where we have smaller lots, smaller yards, less maintenance for the owner. Within this community, a certain portion of it will be maintenance-free.
What kind of square footage are we looking at in these houses?
So the
Roughly,
townhouses,
townhouses, I'm basically about these cottages.
so the square footage of the house itself,
Yep.
you're probably looking at a 30 by 60 footprint. So you're from a footprint of 1,800 with a second story on them, take out 400 or 500 for a garage, second story, you're 1,800 to 2,500 square foot house. Pretty reasonable size to accommodate a standard single family.
And can you just point out what you're gonna do with your stormwater? where your retention for that is gonna be?
So we are proposing a stormwater management area in the upper, say the northeast corner of the lot. This area of the lot is encroached on by the runway protection zone. However, we can put stormwater management facilities within those areas. We'll also have stormwater management. It's not shown on this plan yet, because we've got to go through all the full planning details and engineering. But stormwater management in this area associated with these two areas here.
I think that's all I have for right now.
We do have great sandy soils, is anybody that's familiar with the area?
Yeah, but it's pretty wet in there. You'll notice your wetlands, you know, surprisingly, you wouldn't think that, but it is.
Yeah, certainly this side of the road, it's actually a little odd. This side of the road, we can't find groundwater. This side of the road, it starts popping up pretty quick.
Anybody else? Thanks, Joe.
Thank
You want
you.
to turn it down, I'll give you a minute or two. Thank you. Next on the agenda, resolution number 21 of 2023, declaring intent to act as a lead agency in classification of proposed Cesar Brother Mixed Residential Housing Plan Development District under State Environmental Quality Review Act, known as SEEKR. Whereas on March 15, 2021, Cesar Brother Holding Company LLC submitted an application for the Plan Development District, PDD, an application for major subdivision review for mixed-use residential PDD for development of approximately 83 acres of property at 272 Stone Church Road in the town of Milton. And now therefore be it resolved that the proposed Cesar Brother mixed-use residential PDD is a type 1 action in accordance with 6 NYCRR Part 617-4 sub B, sub 2, and sub 3, which involves the adoption of changes in allowed uses within any zoning district affecting 25 or more acres of the district and granting a zoning change at the request of the applicant that meets or exceeds any other health threshold on the type 1 list respectively. The town board of the town of Milton hereby declares intent to act as lead agency for the conduct of SEEKR and directs that a coordinated review to establish jurisdiction of involved agencies and concurrence on lead agency status is conducted. If 30 days after the circulation for lead agency, no other involved agency has indicated a desire to act as lead agency for this project, the town of Milton Town Board shall assume the lead agency status for this review. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton. Motion for resolution number 21.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Frolich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr?
I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Councilman Blaisdell?
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander?
Yes. Next, a motion to set a public hearing on the Cesar Brothers Mixed Residential Housing Plan Development District for the March town board meeting.
I'll make that motion.
That'll be at 6:30.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Frolich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr?
Abstain.
Councilman Blaisdell?
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander?
Yes. Next, resolution number 22 of 2023 to appoint Town Clerk Brenda Howell as the delegate for the New York State Association of Towns Annual Meeting and Training School in New York City. Resolution number 22 of 2023. Whereas each year the town sends a representative of the Association of Towns training session in New York City and appoints a delegate to represent the town for all matters that come before the association. And resolved that the town clerk Brenda Howe is hereby appointed as a delegate of the town of Milton for all matters that come before the association at the February meetings. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board, Town of Milton, motion for resolution number 22.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Any discussion? Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next resolution 23 of 2023 to appoint Catherine Brown of 2216 Barrett Road, Ballston Spa, New York 12020, summer camp director at a rate of $24.14 an hour as per the adopted 2023 salary schedule. Resolution whereas the town must hire a camp director for the Town of Milton 2023 summer camp program, and now therefore be it resolved that the town board, after due consideration, does hereby appoint and hire Catherine Brown of 2216 Barrett Road, Ballston Spa, New York, as camp director at an hourly rate of $24.14 per hour for the Town of Milton's 2023 summer camp. Motion for resolution 23.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it. Oh, sorry, Barbara.
Any discussion? Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution 24 of 2023 to appoint Sarah Kelly of 1180 Laurel Lane, Malta, New York 12020, to the position of full-time principal account clerk, provisionally at a rate of $25.30 an hour as per the adopted 2023 salary schedule. Whereas the Town of Milton's comptroller is in need of an employee for the position of principal account clerk who can assist him with processing payroll, accounts receivable, payable, budgeting assistance, as well as other financial duties in the town comptroller's office. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby appoints and hires Sarah Kelly provisionally of 1180 Laurel Lane, Malta, New York 12020, to the position of grade 6 step 0 clerk, accounts clerk for the Town of Milton in the comptroller's office, effective January 23rd of 2023 at an hourly rate of $25.94 per hour part-time for, Dave, how many hours a week? 38? 35 hours per week, with a specific hourly schedule to be determined by the town comptroller, with benefits limited only to those that are provided by the town's personnel policy, if any, and said hire to be conditioned on the requirement of taking the next county exam and passing the said exam with a set time frame, whereafter she will then become a full-time employee. Motion for resolution number 24.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, a motion to close the public hearing on the Route 50 corridor study. Before that, I would ask if there's any more questions from the audience on the Route 50 corridor. Any answers, Brendan? Hearing none, a motion to close the public hearing on the Route 50 corridor study.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution 25, 2023, resolution passing a local law number 1 of 2023, modifying the town's comprehensive plan and amending certain town codes sections accordingly. Whereas the town has prepared the 2021 Town of Milton, New York State Route 50 corridor enhancement study as an update to the previous 2005 Route 50 transition plan to encourage development and redevelopment within the corridor and create more walkable corridor and identify traffic improvements. And now therefore be it resolved that the town board does, pursuant to the said law, hereby adopt the zoning ordinance text and map amendments, copy of which are also attached to the said local law, and authorizes the town clerk to file necessary in accordance with the application provisions of the law. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, Town of Milton. Motion for resolution number 25.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Froelich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution 26 of 2023, authorizing budgetary amendments. Whereas the town board, Town of Milton, from time to time, finds it necessary to make budgetary amendments within the budget year based on recommendations from the town comptroller, and now therefore be it resolved, the town board hereby authorizes the town comptroller to transfer the following 1,000 from the AA 19400 contingency to be moved to the AA 122400 supervisor for the purpose of replacing a defective computer 400 to be taken from the AA 19400 contingency moved to 20,400 versus the 20,000 previously allocated. 925 to be moved from the BB 1990-400 contingency for BB 8010-200 zoning board equipment and capital outlay of $1,155 from the BB 1990-400 contingency to BB 8010-200 planning board equipment and capital outlay for a total of $2,080, which said transfer represents increased appropriations for planning and zoning board laptops, and $22,920 to be moved from the BB 1990-400 contingency to the BB 9030-800 assessment contractual as an adjustment and increase of appropriations for Social Security benefits. Motion for resolution number 26.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes,
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution 27 of 2023 for classification of action and seeker negative declaration regarding the renovation and expansion of the Town of Milton Highway Facility Complex. Whereas the Town Board, Town of Milton intends on expanding and renovating their existing highway facility complex located at 459 Rollins Street within the town. The parcel is approximately 8.7 acres in size and is currently occupied by the town salt shed. The future development plan includes an addition of 1,200 square foot cold storage building, 2,400 square foot maintenance building, garage, a 1,200 square foot wash bay attached to the maintenance building, 3,000 square foot office attached to the maintenance facility, and a fuel line with 10,000 gallons above ground fuel tanks. Ancillary improvements will be to include the interior vehicle storage, parking, and material stockpiles. This action also includes demolition of the existing highway garage facility located at 503 Geyser Road Municipal Complex site. The development of the parcel will occur in municipal phases as funds to complete becomes available. And now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board, Town of Milton, upon review and recommendation from the town engineer, hereby determines that 1, the renovation and expansion of Town of Milton Highway Facility Complex constitutes an action that is subject to seeker, and number 2, the project constitutes an unlisted action which is subject to seeker, and number 3, that the Town Board hereby determines that the proposed action is not located or adjacent to an agricultural district and therefore is not subject to the provisions of the agricultural market law, and number 4, a short FAF inadequate to determine the significance of the proposed action. Be it therefore resolved that based on the review of the project and the EAF, the previous issued negative declaration for the initial Schultz shed developed at the site review of the action by the town's professional staff, including town attorney, town highway department, town building department, and town consulting engineer, MJ Engineering and Land Survey, PC, and comparison that the criteria for the determining the significance found in the number 6 NYCRR section 617-7 subdivision C of the town board of the town of Milton hereby finds with respect to the previously adopted negative declaration that the proposed project, there are no potential adverse environmental impacts either, nor considered inadequately considered. The project will not have a significant adverse impact on the environment and therefore does not require the preparation of a draft environment impact study. Now, therefore, be resolved by the town board, town of Milton. Resolution, motion for resolution number 27.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes,
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, resolution number 28 of 2023 to accept the following appointments to the 250th Revolutionary War Committee. Whereas the town of Milton is desirous in creating a 250th anniversary Revolutionary War Committee, and resolved that the town supervisor appoints, and the board ratifies the appointment of the following individuals to the Town of Milton 250th Anniversary Revolutionary War Committee. Number 1, Michael Companion, the chairman. Number 2, Mike Golden. Number 3, Tom Hurt. Number 4, Abby Burke. Number 5, Rob Ryder. Number 6, Jack Mazur. Number 7, Jim Richmond. And number 8, Audra Hedden. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board, Town of Milton. Motion for Resolution 28.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Froelich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr?
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell?
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander?
Yes, next, Resolution 29 of 2023 to approve the purchase of a 2023 Chevy Malibu for shared services among the departments. Whereas the town board, after its due consideration of discussions with the town comptroller, believed it to be more efficient, economical, and in the best interest of the town to purchase a vehicle for interdepartmental shared use between various departments within the town, and resolved that the said amount of the funded accounts to be determined by the comptroller, and the town comptroller is authorized to make necessary budget transfers, if any, needed for such purchase. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, Town of Milton. Motion for Resolution 29.
Make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Councilman Froelich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr?
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell?
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander?
Yes, next, motion to remove the Chapter 38 from the personnel policies from the Milton Town Code.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Councilman Froelich?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr?
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell?
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander?
Yes, next, department and committee reports, animal control. Animal control monthly report for December 2022, total calls 96, bite cases 3, dangerous dog 0, animal C 6, ticket issued unlicensed dog 2, running at large 0, nuisance dog 0, and muzzle 0, total of 2 respectfully submitted. Dave Brzezinski, animal control. Next, building department, John?
Yep. During the month of December, the building department processed 18 building permits and collected $4,904.60 in building permit fees, $1,008.35 in zoning and planning fees. We completed 103 construction inspections, 21 fire safety inspections, and responded to 16 code enforcement complaints, and condemned 1 structure, a total of 13 certificate of occupancies and 17 certificate of compliance. Respectfully submitted, William Lewis.
Thanks, John. Buildings and grounds, Bart?
For the month of January, I did morning cleanup for the town hall, highway department, courts, and building department. Made and painted and installed double doors for the highway department shed, installed entry doors for highway department, installed exterior lights outside highway department doors, moved metal shelving, file cabinets out of the vault, and put in the basement at the community center. File cabinets went to the animal controls, installed whiteboard in the building department. And I can't say enough about Mark. Anything you ask him to do, he can do it.
Definitely an asset to the town. Next, the comptroller's report, reporting package issued to the town board and made available on the public inspection on the town website. Next, economic development, John O'Reilly.
Well, we have some good news for the residents have been frustrated. Can I see someone, please? Residents have been frustrated with the intersection of Brown Street and Route 29. Give you a little background. Back in 2018, at the beginning of 2018, made a formal request to the New York State Department of Transportation to initiate a study to see if something can be done about the intersection and the problems that have been occurring down there. Well, they did undertake that study, and it took them most of the year of 2018. And what I put in front of you over here is the results of that particular study. At the time, they found that there was a problem with commercial traffic the heavy-duty trucks, the tractor trailers that come down, and of course, across the street at Bloodies as well. In addition to the traffic backups, they kind of minimize the traffic backup problems, but they did indicate that in the future, if something could be adjusted, it should be done with a roundabout. At that time, they indicated that unfortunately, at that particular time, they did not have any particular funds for making any improvements at that particular intersection. And in the future, if they did have the funding, it could be addressed. Well, at the beginning of this year, I attended a meeting with the Capital District Transportation Committee, and they apparently took that study to heart, and they are now doing, they have done a study already, and they are now planning on putting improvements in at that intersection. And the last page of the handout over there, it shows what they are intending to doing. First of all, the project is 100% federally funded, so there's no money coming from the county or the town. I mean, our only attachment to that right now, as far as the town is concerned, is the Petrified Gardens Road. And I'm sure that the state will be in touch with both us and the county, because the county has Round Street as well. But they are going to address this particular problem. And in speaking with one of their engineers, I asked them specifically if they are considering a roundabout. And they did indicate, yes, they are looking at a roundabout for that particular intersection. So that certainly will alleviate some of the traffic backup problems at the commuter time, when you have backup going all the way back to Bloody Stone. So this project will be started this year, and we're anticipating that it probably will complete it sometime in 2024. So we have at least something to look forward to in terms of little traffic improvement for our town.
Thanks, John. Mike is not with us. Historian report I'll read. Historian report of January 2023. I received an update from the Kenneth A. Kesselring site describing the Tier 1 and Tier 2 maintenance and modification to the structures and grounds. This month I met with the Historic Structures and Places Committee and the Saratoga County 250th Committee. The Historic Structures and Places Committee met further to develop the historian's webpage, providing historical resources and reference material to the public. This month we are focused on providing histories of the town's churches, schools, and cemeteries. I also met with the Saratoga County 250th Committee for the Revolutionary War to develop the plans for the 2023 commemorative the 250th anniversary and the Revolution. The committee is trying to include all towns and activities which promote education on the Revolutionary War. One event discussed was a ceremony on April 30th of 2023 to take place at the South Milton Cemetery to commemorate the service of the Revolutionary War soldiers. A new marker will be placed for one soldier, and the town will be erecting a new sign to be unveiled recognizing the service of 3 soldiers interred in the cemetery. The Daughters of the American Revolution will be hosting the ceremony, while the Sons of the American Revolution Color Guard will be part of this ceremony. The public is invited. Additionally, the Town of Milton 250th Committee continues to do research on Revolutionary War soldiers entered here, and the goal of creating a sign to honor the service by erecting a sign in each of the cemeteries. This month I also met with a local Boy Scout, Sean Pausley, who was looking to develop the Eagle Scout project, which addresses the needs of the Oakwood Cemetery. As previously mentioned, the cemetery is in a state of disrepair and largely inaccessible to the public. The goal of the project is to make the cemetery more accessible to the public and open to the public, which I currently is not. I have written up a plan which addresses the immediate needs of the cemetery and shared them with Sean as well as the town officials. We hope to put this plan in effect in early April. Submitted, Mike Companion. Next, Justice Court, Barb.
Okay, monies collected and remitted to the state controller for the month of December 2022. Fines were $2,180, surcharges $2,044, civil fees $419 for a total of $4,633. Do you want me to do the yearly report also?
Yes.
So the summary for the year 2022, fines collected $46,456, surcharges $31,211, civil fees $7,607.89, for a total of $85,274.89.
Thanks, Barb. Planning and zoning report, you have mine?
Oh, we got that, Joe.
Okay.
Okay, zoning board, December 29th, 2022. There was a continuation of the public hearing for the Prime Group Holding, the aircraft hangar. Applicant reviewed the plans, no public comment. Public hearing was closed. Motion for approval of an area variance, which is a 5-foot height variance from what we allow here in the town, was passed. The project will now go back to the planning board for review and approval. Planning board, January 11th, 2023. Jumper Bean Preschool Site Plan Review and Special Use Permit. They'd like to expand their present location at 441 Geyser Road. The board had several concerns about the lack of parking and extra parking spaces needed. It was declared an unlisted action under seeker, and there was a motion to set a public hearing for February 8th at 7:05.
Thanks, Barb. Next receiver of taxes, Lisa.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
The 2023 property tax bills were mailed out on December 30th. So at this time, everybody should have their bills. If anyone has not received that bill, please contact me at 518-884-2765. Taxes collected from January 1st to January 20 totaled $1,915,805.66, or 21% at that time. Since that time, there has been a significant increase in that. Just want to remind everybody again about tax payments if they haven't already made it, the different methods. I know you guys hear it every time I'm here, but I just want to remind everybody else. They can mail payments to me at 503 Geyser Road, Ballston Spa, New York, 12020. Please be sure to include your phone number on all checks. And you can also make payments directly by stopping in the office at Town Hall at 503 Geyser Road. And my office is open from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday during the month of January. We also have a secure drop box right to the right side of the entrance to Town Hall, so feel free to use that. You can also make payments online by visiting www.egov.basny.com/Milton. And be advised that there are additional fees for payments online. We also have new this year, credit card payments can be made in person. There is also a 3% vendor charge to do that. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to contact me with that.
Thank you, Lisa. Town clerk, Brenda?
All right, so for the month of December, we had 1 marriage, 4 certified marriage certificates, 47 certified death certificates, 1 genealogical research, 10 FOIL and search records, 71 dog licensing, 22 online dog licensing, 3 hunting and fishing licenses, and 4 pavilion or community center rentals. The town share was $2,837.63.
Thank you, Brenda. Next on the agenda, public comment number 2 on any town business. Public comment is now open.
Did I do highway?
Oh, I'm sorry, skipped you, John?
Yeah.
Now you can do highway, go ahead.
Highway Department has been busy clearing the roadways from numerous ice and snowstorms, and that have already occurred this season. Once our roadways are clean, we do send crews out to push back the snow on the sides of the roads and in the intersections. Safety of our town residents is always one of our top priorities. Highway Department has been picking up Christmas trees. We urge residents that have not done so yet to please put your Christmas tree curbside as soon as possible for pickup. We also ask residents to remember the town code that prevents them from parking in the roadways from November until April. The town code makes sure the roadways are clear so we can safely plow and do our jobs in an efficient manner. Highway Department also makes a sand salt mixture available to town residents during the winter months at 503 Geyser Road. The sand and salt mixture will only be available to town residents on a first come first served basis. And the salt and sand mixture may only be taken in 5-gallon buckets or containers.
We're all here still.
My apologies, John. Thank you.
No.
Public comment number 2 on any town business. Public comment number 2 is now open if anybody would like to speak. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Martina Bantham. I live at 32 Birch Tree Lane. I would like to ask the board to please consider implementing an annual, I don't really know what to call it, like a big garbage pickup day, like the town of Malta does, where residents can kind of just throw mattresses and whatever big garbage they have for a week or whatever, and I guess the town picks it up. I think that would be popular and very helpful for all of us.
So to answer your question, we will be doing one of them this year. However, we will not be going around picking it up. We will have the dumpster provided at town hall, and then people may bring their property and dump it off here at town hall. We have
Just as good.
it budgeted, and we will be giving you the date shortly.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. Results.
Anybody else? Public comment? Anybody via Zoom? Public comment number 2 is now closed. Discussion from the board on any new business.
Quick facilities update.
Sure.
Facilities Committee has received the preliminary layout for the town highway garage. We have sent that on to the planning board for their input and suggestions. As soon as that comes back, we will probably be getting out and meeting with some of the residents. We have a ad hoc committee of developers who want to sit down and meet with them, and then we should be able to finalize that.
Thanks, John. Anybody else? Old business. I just have one item on old business. Everybody is well aware that the mayor from the village of Ballston Spa was at our last board meeting in reference to the village looking to harvest some trees in Woods Hollow. I just wanted everybody to be aware that we are currently working with the village in an attempt to buy that property from the village of Ballston Spa to assure the preservation in future years for the village people, and not only the village, our town residents, with a very serious financial benefit offered to everyone. So we are in negotiations with the village at this time. We have put an offer on the table and we're waiting for a response from them. Anyone else? No executive session this evening. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Any discussion? Councilman Crolish?
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr?
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell? Supervisor Erskine?
Yes. We'll see everybody. Our next board meeting will be February 22nd at 6:30 p.m.